Every man has a place where his old self is buried. Mine's behind my daddy's house, down by the creek where the water runs shallow and the memories run deep. I go back sometimes, not to dig him up, just to remember he's gone.
There's a creek behind my daddy's house where I buried who I used to be.
The boy who ran wild and reckless,
The boy who couldn't see that the road he was walking would lead him to a dead-end street.
there's a creek behind my daddy's house where I buried
Who I used to be. And the water keeps on flowing, washing clean what used to stain.
but I still visit that grave sometimes
When the old me calls my name.
I was 22 and burning every bridge I'd ever crossed, drinking like the world was ending, didn't care how much I lost. Daddy called me one last time, said, "Son, I don't know who you are. You're out there chasing shadows while your mother prays on her knees in the dark." I hung up and I cursed his name, said he never understood, but something in his silence followed me deeper than it should. I came home 3 years later with a duffel full of shame, stood there in the driveway, couldn't even say my own name. Daddy walked out slow, didn't speak, just wrapped me in his arms, said, "Welcome home, son. The creek's still there behind the barn." I walked down through the tall grass with the weight of all my years, knelt beside the water, and I buried all my fears. Not a body, not a person, just the ghost of who I'd been. The selfish, lost, and broken man I swore I'd never be again. There's a creek behind my daddy's house where I buried who I used to be. The boy who ran wild and reckless, the boy who couldn't see that the road he was walking would lead him to a dead-end street. There's a creek behind my daddy's house where I buried who I used to be. And the water keeps on flowing, washing clean what used to stay. But I still visit that grave sometimes
When the old me calls my name.
My sister did the same thing back in 2012. Buried the girl who let addiction take control and overwhelm.
She went down to the water with a bottle in her hand, poured it out into the current, said, "I'm taking back my land."
She said the creek don't ask no questions, it just carries what you give. And that's the closest thing to Jesus that I felt since I was a kid.
Now she's got 2 little daughters and a husband who adores her. She still walks down to the water when the old voice tries to call her.
She says redemption isn't pretty, it's a daily kind of fight. But that creek behind our daddy's house keeps holding back the night. There's a creek behind my daddy's house where I buried who I used to be. The boy who ran wild and reckless, the girl who couldn't see that the road they were walking
to a dead-end street.
There's a creek behind my daddy's house where we buried who we used to be.
And the water keeps on flowing, washing clean what used to stay.
But we still visit that grave sometimes
when the oldest calls our name.
Some people find redemption in a church house and a prayer.
Some people find it in a bottle,
but there's nothing lasting there. I found mine in the current,
in the shallow,
in the stones,
in the place where I surrendered
everything I thought I owned. The burial was quiet.
No sermon,
no stone,
just a man and water,
and a boy I let go.
There's a creek behind my daddy's house where I buried who I used to be.
The one who ran wild and reckless,
the one who couldn't see that the road they were walking would lead them to a dead-end street. There's a creek behind my daddy's house where I buried who I used to be.
And the water keeps on flowing,
washing clean what used to stain.
I still visit that grave sometimes,
but I don't stay.
I just thank the water,
and I walk away.
'Cause who I used to be is buried,
and who I am is finally free.
I brought my little boy down here last summer. He asked me what was buried.
I said, an old version of your daddy
that you'll never have to meet. He just nodded, skipped a stone across the water.
And I thank God the creek was still here,
still flowing,
still faithful,
still holding everything
I needed to let go.
'Cause who I used to be is buried,
and who I am is finally free.
I brought my little boy down here last summer. He asked me what was buried.
I said, an old version of your daddy
that you'll never have to meet. He just nodded, skipped a stone across the water.
And I thank God the creek was still here,
still flowing,
still faithful,
still holding everything
I needed to let go.